Okay, so this is the next video in our continuation of our AWS series. Still, we are going through the only one service, that is the EC2 service, and today we will cover auto scaling. So yesterday we covered load balancer, so today we cover this auto scaling part. But before that, let's see auto scaling. So auto scaling is so what we have seen yesterday. So we create instance, we deploy our one application on both the EC2 instance, basically a one bash script which will just simply hello world program. So on both the EC2 instance. Now both the application, our application is same, but it is running on two different EC2 instances. But user want only one EC2. 1 minute. But user want only one EC2, one IP address, but both the EC2 instances have the different IP address. So what we did is we put the load balancer. So we created the load balancer, and we attached one target group with these two EC2 instances. And now whatever the DNS given by the load balancer, we have given that DNS to the user. Now user is accessing that DNS, and one by one, sequentially, like the request is going to first EC2 instance, then second EC2 instance, then again first, then back to third. That is a round robin fashion, like it is following and it's going. But let's suppose our EC2 instance, yesterday when we have stopped our EC2 instance, so it did not like spin up any EC2 instance. So our EC2 instance not auto scaled. All right. So let's suppose if there is a like more load, then our EC2 instance are not getting spinned up automatically, because we have manually spinned up. And if there is a less load, then our EC2 instance not getting stopped. So how to do that in our earlier in this thing, how to use the property of the auto scaling. So auto scaling means when there is a more load, so the EC2 instance will get like increase at the back end, and the same application will be spin up. And once there is a less load, then automatically the EC2 instance get removed and keep it minimal EC2 instances, which is only required. So we will like see in practical how to use the concept of the auto scaling. Okay, so yesterday we have created EC2 instances manually, but if we create the EC2 instance manually, then it's not come under the auto scaling, right? So we have to find a way so that we will generate one template, and using that template, automatically all the EC2 instance will get spinned up. All right. So if you go to the auto scaling section and auto scaling group, so click on the auto scaling group and create a auto scaling group. And so here we will give our auto scaling group name, my auto scaling group. Okay, now we have to give some template, because how our auto scaling group knows that like which EC2 instance I have to spin up, whether it is t2.micro, whether it is Ubuntu, whether it is Amazon instance, or which application I have to deploy. So it doesn't know. So we have to give some template to the our auto scaling group, and template contains all those properties which we required when we manually spin up EC2. So when we manually spin up EC2, what we have selected, we selected the AMI, that is the Amazon operating system. Okay, using which image we will spin up the EC2, we're using which instance, whether it is a microservice or large CPU, and we attach the security group, we attach the keeper. So all these things we have to define under one template, and that template we will provide to the security group. All right. So we have provided our name, any you can give any name, like my auto scaling group. Now you have to give the template. So under the template we don't have any template, so we have to create a template. So click on the create a launch template. So one window will be open. Now right here, my template, give basically any name, my template, and scroll down. So and make this box as check mark, because it is mentioned select this if you intend to use this template with the EC2 auto scaling. Yes, we have to use this template for the EC2 auto scaling. So what we want, these EC2 instances get automatically scaled up, scaled down. So we make this check. So what options we have to select? We have to, when we manually spin up EC2, we selected AMI. Okay, select that. So we have to select our AMI. So go to the quick start and select the Amazon Linux. And within the Amazon Linux, select the one which is free tier eligible. So that is the Amazon Linux 2. Okay, that is done. Now next is we have to select the whether it is instance type, whether it is a t2.micro, t2.large, right? So we have to, because we are using the free tier, so we will like where it is. So we will select our instance type as a free tier, t2 dot. So t2 dot micro is free tier, so we will use a t2 dot micro. Okay. Then we have created the key pair and security group. Why we have attached the security group? Because how we will access our application, because it will running on the browser and it's need the HTTP access. So we need the security group and the key pair, like whether you want to attach or whether you don't want to attach, that's up to you. But for the security purpose, it is recommended to attach the key pair. So we have to attach the key pair. Right now we don't have any key pair, so create a new key pair and give a name my key pair. Okay, so leave it RSA type and .pem for the SSH, PPK for the PuTTY. So create a key pair. Okay, so key pair has been created. So now selected from the drop down my key pair. Okay, that's done. Scroll down in the subnet, leave it is as it is. Now we have to select the security group. Because why we have to select the security group? So here we have to select the security group. Okay, so if you don't have the security group, you can create the security group, like create a security group. So let's create a security group, mysg, and security group for EC2. Okay, and now we have to add the security group rule. So what rule we have, we are generally adding when we are creating manually? One is the SSH and sources from anywhere, and other rule is HTTP, and HTTP also from anywhere. Source type is anywhere. Okay, so these two security uh, um, rule we want. Okay, that's done. So storage leave as is, tag leave as it is, and one more thing, we are providing the user data, like which script we want to run. So under go to the advanced details. So if you go at the end, we have to provide the user data. So we have the script ready with this, the same script which we have to use, which will just say hello from the particular IP address. So because this is a major Linux, and a major Linux is based on Red Hat operating system, and within the Red Hat we are using the Apache, and the Apache is come under the name HTTPD. So we are installing and we are giving some permission because we don't have read write access for this folder, for this directory. So we are giving some permission, and we are like say uh, echo from the particular IP address. Okay, and yeah, that's it. Now that's the end. Now click on the create launch template. So our template has been created, right? So we can see the template from here as well. If you go to the EC2 and under the instances, you can see launch templates. So click on the launch template. You could see your template has been created, right? So this is just a template. It is not spinning an EC2 instance. It's just a template, basically configuration. So just close this. Now refresh it. So with the auto scaling group, we have to attach the template, because how it knows, like uh, it will make the EC2 instance up and down, but which operating system it will use, so which configuration it will use. So we have to define that in template. Okay, so scroll down. We have attached our security group ID and everything looks okay. Go to the next. Okay, now the availability zone. So our security group, so when it create the EC2 instance, it create the EC2 instance in any subnet zone. All right, so make it all the subnet zone available, so that it is highly available. Okay, so that's it. Click on the next. Okay, so if we have to do this, but along with this we have to use the auto scaling group, but we need all this architecture same. That is, we need the load balancer, we need the EC2 instances, we need the user, we need the application to be deployed in the EC2, but it should be using the auto scaling. So that's why we are using the auto scaling group property. So we have defined the template how to spin up the EC2. Now we have to create the load balancer as well. So within the uh, security group, it has the facility to attach a load balancer, or to create a load balancer. So right now we don't have the load balancer. If you have, you can attach an existing load balancer, but if you don't have, you have to attach a new load balancer. So you have to create a new load balancer. And because our application is HTTP, we are browsing it from a browser. So our application is, as you can say, it's a HTTP application load balancer. Give any name or leave the default it is, and it should be internet facing. It is same as which we have covered like yesterday, internet facing, and leave everything as is. It is available on all the. Now we have to create this target group, because when yesterday when we created the load balancer, we have to attach the particular load balancer with some target group. All right. So yesterday we created the target group as well. So same thing we will do as part of the auto scaling group. So create a new target group. So give like my target group any name, and for the health checks, by default EC2 is correct. We will also do the health checks of the load balancer, because this is the auto scaling group. So auto scaling group also do the health checks for the load balancer. So go to the next. Okay, now it is the how many EC2 instance you want. So we want by default two EC2 instances. So desired is two, and minimum is one, maximum we want four. So let's suppose if there are more load, then it will spin up three EC2 instances, then up to four. So up to four, it can spin like maximum EC2 instances. So maximum is four, minimum is one, and the desired is two. So by default, when we create our auto scaling group, so automatically two EC2 instance will be get created. Okay. Now the scaling policy. Scaling policy means how these EC2 instance get scaled up and scaled down. So if you click on the target scaling group, so here we have the option, okay, whether when the CPU reaches to 50 percentage is when the particular request count reaches like maybe 1,000 request count, or maybe the network byte is average network byte is 1,000 MB, or it is already consumed 100 MB or 1,000 MB. All right. So we will not use this, we will use none, and we will manually do the process. So select none, and click on next, and click next, and create auto scaling group. So we have created our auto scaling group. So if you go to the instances, we will see it will spin up two EC2 instances. So you could see one is the pending state, and this is also in the pending state. So automatically, as soon as we created the auto scaling group, automatically it started creating the EC2 group. It also started creating the load balancer as well. If you go to the load balancer, you could see the load balancer is also getting going to create. Now it is the provisioning state. So auto scaling group will prepare our whole architecture. All right, but it is auto scaled, so that automatically it will make sure every time two EC2 instance should be up and running. If by mistake one EC2 instance get terminated, automatically it will spin up the another EC2 instance, or if there is a more load, it will spin up. It depends upon the property. Okay, so EC2 instances are getting up and running. So both the EC2 instances are up and running. So let's see whether our application is running on the EC2 instance or not. We are just manually checking. So our application is running. One is on the 24, and let's check the other EC2 instance. So on the other IP dot 143, so it is also running. So both our EC2 instances are running, and our application is up and running on both the EC2 instances. But we will not going to provide this DNS to our user. Which DNS we have to provide? We have to provide our the DNS which is created by the load balancer. So we will go to the load balancer, and under the DNS we will copy this. Okay. And we will provide this DNS, and user will hit enter. So as soon as user will hit enter, automatically the first hit will go to the first EC2 instance. So 143. If another user will come, so another user will come, it is going to 24. Another user will come, it will going to the 143. Another user is going to the 24. So this is like the same thing we have seen yesterday, but how we will see the auto scaling. So let's do one thing. Go to the instances. So now we have the two instances are running, right? So let me do one thing. So I will terminate one EC2 instance. So as soon as I will terminate the one EC2 instance, automatically another EC2 instance gets spin up. So let me terminate the EC2 instance. So I have terminated the EC2 instance. So you will see it should like spin up one EC2 instance automatically. If it is not, then there should be some issue. Why it is not spinning up the one EC2 instance? It should spin up. Let me check the our auto scaling group. Under the auto scaling group, instances also our desired is 2. It should spin up the second EC2 instance as well. So if we go to the activity, like what activity it is doing. So go to the refresh. So we have created it's created the load balancer. It created the first EC2 instance. It created the second EC2 instance. But what after that? It did not show anything. Yeah, now it is creating. So now it is terminating the EC2 instance. Termination in progress. And after the terminating the EC2 instance, I hopefully it will spin up the another EC2 instance. So I let me go to the instances. So you could see the another EC2 instance automatically get terminated. Oh, sorry, get started, because we have mentioned we need the desired two EC2 instance. So you could see like automatically it is getting scaling up and scaling down. We could not see the scaling up because we have to make a number of requests, or make the CPU we have to consume the CPU 50%. But from here we can see. All right. So earlier one, I think it is in the 2A, now it is in the 2C automatically. So let's click. So earlier IP is 24. So let's see. It's 143 and 45. So our application is still available in the 2 zones. So this is the advantage of the secure auto scaling group. Okay. So let me go to the auto scaling group, and under the auto scaling group, so click on the auto scaling group, and under the activity you could see all the activity which is doing. So we have created the load balancer, we have created the first EC2 instance, we have created the second EC2 instance, then we have terminated the EC2 instance. As soon as we have terminated, automatically it has like a spin up the new EC2 instance, because this is the property of the auto scaling. It has to keep two EC2 instance as a desired state. All right. And whenever there is a load, it will make it 4, but it will not make it 4, because we have not set the property, or like whether it is a CPU or whether it is like that, but we have changed it. Okay, so that's the end of the video. So after that, do one thing. So just clean up the resources, go to the auto scaling group and click on the auto scaling group and delete it, so that you should not get being charged. So it is deleting, and so everything you have to delete. So the key pair which you have created, you can delete that. And what else? Template as well. One template we have created, we can delete the template as well. Okay, and the load balancer as well. Okay, target groups as well. Security groups as well. I think the EC2 instance is still up and running, so it will take some time to get terminated. So once it get terminated, after that only we can delete the security group. But yeah, so that's it. So we have covered the auto scaling group as well, how we have to what is auto scaling and how we can see that in the practical. So that's the end of the video. So if you have any question, do let me know. Thank you.